What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. The other day when I was driving the P11 to Tucson, I noticed that it started overheating on me. I actually have a aftermarket radiator for this vehicle that I never threw on, so I'm going to show you guys how to do that in today's video. So this right here is the aftermarket aluminum radiator that I will be installing on the P11. I actually don't know what kind of brand it is from the information that I found on the forums. This is a pretty old style radiator. However, it is a little bit thicker than your stock P11 radiator, as you guys can see right here. So we're going to go ahead and install this and see if our overheating issue stops. I actually did make a video not too long ago showing you guys how to remove your radiator fans on this vehicle when I had to remove my alternator. Now I'm going to show you guys how to do that again because we're going to have to remove the radiator out of the way. But you guys can see right here the radiator is pretty dang small on this vehicle. So we're going to try to fix that here and install this aftermarket radiator and see if it fixes this issue that I'm having with the overheating. So it's pretty simple to do. The vehicle is right now, oh, I forgot that I had my pennies there still. The vehicle right now is actually cool, so the radiator fluid is not going to be extremely hot. So the first thing that we're going to do is disconnect our battery. Once we disconnect our battery, we're going to drain the coolant from the radiator. So we'll do that right now in a second here. So going underneath the vehicle, we'll look for the drain plug. It's usually a Phillips or a flathead style. On this vehicle is right over here. You guys can see it right there. Go ahead and unplug that and your fluid will come out. Make sure that you guys have a pan as well to catch all the coolant. There we go. And you guys can see not a lot of coolant is coming out, and that's because I have my radiator cap still on. I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and then this is going to drain a lot faster. So now that that's draining, I'm going to go ahead and remove the radiator brackets here. It's held down by two 10mm nuts. And I'm just going to set these guys off to the side here. The next thing that I'll do is remove this upper hose here. There's also a small little hose here that goes to your overflow tank. Go ahead and remove that as well and put it off to the side. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is remove the radiator fans. So there is a wiring harness that you need to get out of the way. There's the two connectors right here that you want to unclip and move off to the side. Now that you're at this point, go ahead and remove the two fasteners that hold your radiator fans to the radiator. These are normally 10mm. Once you're at this point, your radiator fan is going to want to come out. However, if you have an automatic, you're going to have a line that is attached to the bottom of the fans. So go ahead and just reach under there and disconnect it. But once you do that, the fans will come out. Now that you guys are at this point, you guys can see that your radiator for the most part is pretty free. There is, however, two more things that are kind of holding it down, and that is the transmission lines and the lower radiator hose. So go ahead and remove these transmission lines. You are going to lose some transmission fluid, so what I like to have ready on hand is two spark plugs so that I can plug them up so that I can minimize that. And then also, you're going to lose some coolant from this side as well if you have some in this line. So I got my two spark plugs that I'm going to use to plug up the transmission line. And I'm also going to get a second catch pan underneath so that I can catch any of that transmission fluid. So at this point, you guys can see that I have those hoses disconnected. This line over here is slowly leaking transmission fluid, but like I said, I have a different pan there, and I have my spark plugs plugging up those lines. So the only thing that you have to do at this point is basically pull your radiator out. It should just kind of slide out here, just like so. We'll go ahead and tilt it so that we don't leak any more fluid on the ground. This right here is a little side-by-side comparison between these two radiators. You guys can see here on the stock radiator, it's about half the size of this aftermarket radiator. So the thicker the radiator, the better for cooling. Now, I can't really show you a better demonstration because this one still has a lot of transmission fluid in it, and if I tilt it up a bit, it starts to leak. Now, to install the radiator back on, you're going to do the opposite of what you did to remove it. So just go ahead and slide it back into place here. Make sure that the rubber pieces on the bottom go into the right spot here. Also, don't forget to connect your transmission line back on. If you guys lost a lot of fluid when you guys were removing them, make sure to top off your transmission as well. The camera must have died on me, but basically right here, I ended up installing the radiator fans. Now I'm going to just go ahead and button everything back up, put the radiator brackets back on, and then I'm going to bleed out the cooling system. So I turned on the vehicle, it's idling right now. I don't see any visible leaks, so that's pretty good. I'm going to take it out for a quick test drive to get everything up and running. This is going to wrap up the end of this video. If you guys did find it entertaining, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing for more videos on the P11, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out.